Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the NJ First podcast. My name is Ryan McDonald. I have another guest joining us today. We have a free speech conversation, a Rumble creator, Blue Collar Renaissance, BLUECOLLAR Renaissance. You can follow him on X, follow him on Rumble. He's been banned from a lot of platforms, just like a lot of other people. We're going to talk about free speech today, but thank you so much for joining today.
No problem, dude. It's nice to finally talk to you. And let's get it going. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Union City, working class family, a whole bunch of electricians, military guys. Been into politics since I was young because my family's always been into politics. They were kind of like adjacent to the Union City machine. They were with Mayor Musto back in the day. They're out there knocking on doors for him. And then they were with Rudy Garcia, Menendez, and Brian Stack. That's one Democrat I kind of like. I like Stack, just because, he's almost like family in a way. But he's not as bad as the rest. But, born and raised in Union City. Married my high school sweetheart. Went to the Coast Guard after high school. And, now I'm just talking shit, trying to fight the establishment.
Good. We need a lot more patriots just like yourself. We need patriots in general. And I think I was allured to I was attracted to your content because I shared the same upbringings as well and had the family that was in the Democrats' pockets, to be honest. And not in any bad way, just that they were state employee workers as well, union workers as well. And I've just heard recently about that Brian Stack. I think he's up near me up north. And he's got he's very good at what he does, meaning politics wise, election campaigning wise, getting out the vote wise. I'm hearing a lot about that. So it's cool that I hear that name again. And just to finish up on the content that I saw from you, and the reason why I'm having you on is because it's a term called new media. We've had social media. And now we're seeing everybody getting banned off of social media. Remember, it wasn't too long ago we had the Ministry of Truth they were trying to introduce to everybody. And we got rid of that. Orwellian, correct. Elon Musk had the whole releasing of the Twitter files. He has X now. Free speech is now back in the conversation. And I saw Blue Collar Renaissance's channel. It was free speech oriented completely. He didn't hold back anything and he was getting banned. And I really wanted to have you on. It's like alternative media. You cover the news, and let's talk about free speech in America to start. How do you see it going?
Well, I think we're getting some W's. It seems like there's a lot of pushback on almost all aspects of the woke mind virus, as Elon coined it. Because you see, we're having some wins with DEI. You can't really cancel anybody anymore. You can't call anybody a Nazi, and just that's it. They're banished to the ether, and so we're winning. We're having some W's, and I see it even like with a lot of the Democrats. There's some Democrats that are out there. They're like, it's gone too far. You see guys like Bill Maher speaking out, and it's true. It's a win. The normies are waking up because I wasn't paying attention for a while. I was in my own little bubble. I was like, there's some crazies out there who are crying about everything, the whole Me Too movement. I was like, it can't be that bad. And that was like at the height with the Duke lacrosse scandal and everything.
Right.
And then we found out that was all bullshit. But the media was so quick to vilify. I was like, And then it just kept on. And then I realized, I was like, there's like something going on here. And it was just like a whole 360 assault on freedom of speech, the Second Amendment. It was kind of crazy, but we're beating back the tide right now. That's one of the positives. But they're not going to go down without a fight. That's the one thing with these crazies. They're going to keep on screaming and squealing, and they're going to look for everything to be outraged over. As we saw, was it just the other day with Trump's sharing the picture of Biden hogtied? But It's okay for Kathy Griffin to fucking chop off his head on TV, and everybody else like, we need to take him out. Like, it's okay for that, but God forbid that somebody on the right comes out and just does something a little edgy. I mean, I'm sure you can remember, what was it? Who was that congressman that shared the video of like AOC get her face kicked in? It was like one of those anime things. Okay. Remember that? And it was such an outrage. I was like, Jesus Christ, these people are soft.
That they're calling for violence. Right.
Yeah. And everybody's waking up. Everybody's like, who was it? James Carville. He's like, the Democrats have become too feminized. I mean, that's partly why I left them. It's become the party of woke. Everybody's crying about, we need inclusivity, equity. And at first, it sounds nice, but it's all bullshit. It's all communism light, pretty much.
I couldn't agree more. And to say those words out in public so people get used to it, knowing that it's here at the doorstep, not across seas anymore, I think helps. And alternative media like yourself, if people are interested, go follow him on Rumble, Blue Collar Renaissance. And you definitely hit on some points there, especially with Elon. I think it's fine. Like, people give him a hard time because he reinstated the misgendering policy, stuff like that. Those are little things I understand, but then there's Rumble, completely free speech. And there are other platforms popping up that are like completely free speech. And that was the topic that we were just talking about, how you said that the victimhood of the Democrats, they don't like when other people have freedom of speech, but they can say whatever they want. They can do whatever they want. And then when other people have freedom of speech, they call it hate speech. I think a lot of people are waking up to it. You're right.
Yeah, because there's the hypocrisy, everybody's seeing it. And when you think about it, a lot of people aren't in tune to politics, aren't in tune to the culture war. A lot of people like to go watch the NBA, go to the baseball game, watch Love and Hip Hop and all that bullshit. A lot of people aren't in tune, and they don't see it just like taking over society slowly but surely. But I'm going to say the COVID pandemic made people wake up. It was kind of like, everybody was home. There was no sports on. You could only watch Netflix for so long. And then you had everything with Trump. It was like, soap opera on TV. So everybody was seeing the double standards when it came to what he said and what he wasn't. And it was just, that was a snowball effect. And here we are a few years later. Democrats are a little more unpopular than Republicans. Go figure that shit.
Right.
And I hated Republicans growing up. I hated them. Like George Bush. Jesus.
Still can't like them, right? Still can't stand some of them.
Oh, yeah. A lot of them were fucks, Like, I'm more of an independent because, like I said, I like Stack. Some Democrats I can stand. Like, some of them are not, too far gone. Like Joe Manchin, even though he did sell us out with that Green New Deal because he was looking out for West Virginia. I understand it. They've been hit hard by the attacks on the coal industry and everything down there. So he was looking out for his people. I understand that. But there's some good, there's decent ones out there. They're not all shit, even though I say that a lot. But they're okay people.
One thing I saw on your Twitter, Blue Collar Ren, at Blue Collar Ren, American nationalist. Now, that's what I describe myself as well. Independent American nationalist, because I don't choose the Democrat, don't choose the Republican. And I think a lot more people should describe themselves as that as well if they're a patriot. And the New Jersey academia and United States higher education, that'll be the next thing we're talking about. And I can segue into that because how you said before, people are waking up after the pandemic. Last year, I made a speech on the steps of Trenton about the parental rights movement, about how 10 years ago, I warned Republicans and boomers, the adults of society, that there were critical race theory happening in 2012, 2013 while I was in school. And it is cultural Marxism. I tell people when I graduated in 2015, I came back to rural Warren County, and it took me 2 years to recover. And then I entered at that time, I entered the workforce right out of graduating 2015. Didn't wait those 2 years. But it's definitely, I think, indoctrination, political indoctrination. It's been in the universities and now has seeped down into the high school education. But I believe that's why you started your channel, correct? It was a project from a higher academia in not Rutgers, in New Jersey, right?
Yep. Well, I went back to part of the reason I went back to school, I really didn't want to, but the pandemic happened, and at the time I was boxing. I wanted to, compete in the Golden Gloves, and that just shut down. And I was like, what the hell am I doing with my time? How can I make a difference? And I was like, the institutions have been seized by communists, and how do we get those institutions back? And you got to get involved. So I decided to go back to college, get my degree, and then get into the education field so I can indoctrinate these kids into a little bit of American nationalism, So that was the whole plan. And I was like, all right, let me go back to college. And Jesus Christ, I see why you needed a couple years to freaking decompress after that. Because critical race theory is woven into everything, every topic, whether it be economics, whether it be like philosophy, somehow it all like goes back to the oppressed and the oppressors. And the authors that they would give you, they're all these new wokesters that W.E.B. Du Bois will probably spit on their freaking work because it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. And it's all indoctrination. And I've been called, like, my first English class, I was called racist, misogynist. And thank God, I was like, you know what? I should tell them I'm in an interracial marriage and this and that. But then they'll probably be like, you know, like.
But make something else up, right?
Yeah, they're like, you can't argue with these people. And I, like, my professor, she was probably the woke. Like, I knew I was fucked when the class first started because she had her pronouns and the pride flag on the, like, the syllabus and everything. I was like, oh, I am so fucked. I barely made it through that class. And it was more of a testament to the professor over at UCC because I wanted to get in honors and everything after that. I was like,
oh, look at that.
Yeah, I was like, well, fuck. But that's the indoctrination. I mean, as you know, this started back in the 50s and the 60s, the whole Marxist strategy to get into the institutions. Yeah. And here we are in the freaking 2000s. And we see it with Israel. We see it with problems going on in Harvard and the whole pro-Hamas and like anti-Jew. It's now the fruits that they freaking, I mean, the fruits that they planted, now we see it's all out in the open. And people are waking up. Mm-hmm. It's gone like to that point where it's like, oh shit, this is communism. You can't say anything against anything. I mean, what was it, that teacher over in, what was it, SUNY New York, who went after the pro-life student, and then when the news went, I think it was the Post or something, went to her house, she pulled out a machete on him, chased him down the street. Yeah. You remember that? Like, I do
remember that.
These people are devout, like they're believers. They're believers. Mm-hmm. Like they're committed to this cause. And that's why I say we got to like just get involved, get back into the institutions if we can, you know, like fucking become the dog catcher. If you just get into like low positions in town if you want. Like we got to get it back from these communists because they'll take that freaking teaching job. They don't care. A lot of them, they're all single lesbians mostly. They're going to go into these. It's true. It's true. Because I know a couple single lesbians who are teachers and they're woke as fuck. And we argue all the time. But that's the demographic that's doing this. Because you know what? They don't have families of their own. So they're in there for a cause. You know, they're in there to indoctrinate you. They want make you feel the white guilt and all that. Talk about the oppression of everybody. And it's all the white man's fault. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it is like, it's far gone.
I couldn't agree more. And I couldn't agree more. Exactly what you just said is what I went through and you experienced as well. Other people experience it too. And if anybody is curious of what blue collar renaissance was just talking about with the 50s, academically look it up. I believe people think it's a conspiracy, but the Frankfurt Institute, you know, they had people from Germany, socialists, Marxists, and then there was that coming over to America during the World War's time, and they ended up in Columbia University and UC Santa Barbara or Berkeley over in California, these very liberal institutions. And now Rutgers, where I went to school, Rutgers, Newark, they fit right in. They have lineage and like their parents were teachers the same way. And it's a class. Yeah, you could say it's definitely a class. And like you said, the demographics, it leans more women as professors and LGBT, but it's both for men and women LGBT, to be honest. And that critical race theory, Marxism, still has a history since the beginning. And like Marxist Leninism has race involved too, you know, with Stalin too, and all that. So if you have anything left to say, and we could talk about that so much, but we're going to just move on for brevity's sake.
Yeah. Just one last thing, but like the whole thing is like, they saw that communism, like it was a class struggle at first, right? And then they realized once you get a raise, everybody's like, you know what, I don't want to overthrow the system. But the race thing, especially here in America, they're really hitting us at our weak point. And that's why I tell people, I was like, the black community. The black women are probably the most educated class of American, I believe. They go to college most, they have the most debt. They are brainwashed. And believe, like I said, like I tell my wife this, I'm like, yeah, she was kind of woke. I'm telling you, we're in a mixed marriage. And I dropped red pills now, and she woke up. I red pilled my mother-in-law. Like, I'm red pilling people because I was like, look at what the Democrats do, like, look how they use the race card on everything. And then I explained to them, like, this is just another strategy in order to take our rights away, they want to make everything equitable, which means everybody equal. That's never going to work. That's communism. Right. And I was like, don't fall for the race shit. Then I like start breaking down to people. I was like, look at the Democrats' track record on racism. And then you got to tell them what like LBJ said about getting the Civil Rights Act and all that stuff. It's a never-ending game. But you know what? Thank God for the internet. That's one thing I gotta say. That's why they want to tamp down on it. It's like, people like you and I could speak. We could show a video to somebody like, oh, did they say this? Oh, this is what they really meant. So, yeah, that's about like.
And might I ask myself? My last name's McDonald. You don't have to reveal your name at all. But you have Irish ancestry, I believe, and it's not recent, right? It's like Civil War time Irish ancestry, probably the same thing as mine, right?
Well, no, we came over like a little post Civil War, 1900s, and then I have a German ancestry from Luxembourg. Also, they came early 1800s.
Gotcha.
And I also got a little bit of Puerto Rican, and like I'm a Jersey mutt, You
Likewise. We wouldn't look like it. We wouldn't look like it, but likewise. But my point being is that it means you have American ancestry. The immigrant came over to America, settled here, had family here, and kept having American ancestry. You yourself are American. And that I noticed, whether or not it be that whiteness from our ancestors that came over long ago, or it's just the American ancestry that it reminds these Marxists, these communists, these leftists of a time in America where it was different. And now they went through the civil rights movement. They went through now the Black Lives Movement, pandemic, everything's changed now. But I really think that they're targeting only specific people like me and you rather than other people. I just wanted to say that. And we can move on and talk about the United States. Oh, yeah. And the next thing I wanted to talk about go on.
No, go for it, dude.
We want to talk about the United States presidential election for 2024. Just to, recap for viewers what's going on with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And I guess RFK Jr. now. RFK Jr. came out with his VP pick and everyone was let down. They thought it was going to be maybe a lefty libertarian, at least somebody who's with the grassroots, maybe, but now it just looks like a big donor, maybe a money play. But they are still saying, and now the media is reporting more and more because it was like in the middle before, but that they believe RFK Jr. is going to take those Democrat votes and it'll help Trump. Do you think that or nah, don't know?
I think all the polls and everything right now are being skewed. I mean, we see them all. They're saying Trump's blowing out Biden, even though I know Biden sucks on pretty much everything. I'm not trusting the polls. And I'm a little worried about this election, honestly. Like, we thought we were going to have a red wave. Didn't happen. And with the mail-in ballots, and I don't know. I'm a little worried. And RFK, I think he's going to steal more people, like more libertarians, more people in the center. A lot of people that probably wouldn't voted for Trump anyway. And this new VP pick, she's a far leftist from what I've seen so far. She's the ex-wife of the guy who created Google or something like that.
Really?
So it definitely was a money play. Maybe it's going to steal some votes from the left. I hope. I like RFK. I like some of his message. I do.
Me too.
I'm like, he cleaned up the fucking Hackensack River. It was one of the most polluted rivers in the whole goddamn country.
Oh shit.
Okay. Yeah, it looks great now. They say you can eat, I think, one fish every 30 days, like once a month. So before you can eat anything from there. So, low progress. I like some of the things RFK did, but Trump, it's an uphill battle, man. It really is. He has the media against him. He has the deep state. He has pretty much, half the country. And like I said, positions of power. These are the people who are all over government. And, you know, conservatives for too long just cared about opening businesses, being entrepreneurs, and not too many got involved. And now we see like Google's gone, like the media, it's all woke besides pretty much Fox. I mean, nobody watches Newsmax, and it's kind of hard for Trump to get his message out there. Like, I mean, MSNBC won't even show any of his speeches because, you know, pan right to Rachel Maddow. She's like, I can't let you see this. It's an uphill battle. It's going to be neck and neck, but I don't know. I really hope so. I really hope Trump could get it. And my prediction is that he might eke it out. But right now, with the little conundrum we have in the House, where we have members dropping out left and right. I mean, you see that. What are we up? A few seats now, right? A few people announced their retirements. And that's what I was saying when I was talking to you, like that George Santos play that we did, you know, our little purity test, like, oh, we got to get rid of Santos. It's going to come back to bite us in the ass because you know what? He was voting like one of the most conservative members of the House. And yeah, get him out of there when it comes to the election, but keep that seat, you know? The Democrats don't give a shit. I mean, look at Menendez. Look at Menendez. The guy got fucking Bobby Pockets over there getting called with gold bars, cash. And he's still in there. And the only person who came out to fucking say anything was good old John Fetterman. Like, come on. They don't give a shit. It's a power game now. The time for purity politics is fucking out the door. So, yeah, I mean, we all got to get behind Trump no matter what. RFK, I wish you could have been Trump's VP. That would have been a great ticket right there. Even though I know he's a little fuzzy on gun rights.
And even Donald Trump, for that matter, but not too fuzzy. The
bump stock ban.
Right. And ERPO, I'm finding out too as well. But Donald Trump, it seems like since they didn't have the real primaries, you know, they didn't have the elections, he's definitely getting attacked in lawsuits. So it's not like he's having an easy time. It's not really like that much of an excuse, like why he can't do the primary. Well, if he didn't have all this other stuff, you know, maybe there would be no excuse for him to, for instance. One theory that is going around, and it's been going around for a long time, you know, everybody is trying to visualize what's going to happen in November, but, you know, they're going to have to, if he's going to get close, they're going to have to do the mail-in ballots or the ballot harvesting or riots. There's probably just going to be riots, even if he wins. If Donald Trump wins, they're going to riot. They rioted the first time in 2016 and then in leading up to 2020, you know, so no matter what, I don't think people really are thinking that far out. New Jersey has a 2025 gubernatorial election, but that might be erupted by some riots.
You know, the riots after Trump won, it was kind of what started turning me off to the Democrats because I'm from the school of thought, like, I love my country. I always love my country, no matter who the president was. My belief was even Bush, you know, Bush sucked, but, you know, I still joined the Coast Guard under him. You know, I served under like Bush. I was like, you know, he's still our president. America first, you know, always America first, you know, like even when we're wrong, we're still right. And that's how I used to believe it, you know, like it's my country. Then I saw everybody rioting, burning shit down, calling Trump a Russian agent. And then I was like, wow, what is going on here? And then I'm like, oh shit, they're lying to me. They're lying to me. Barack Obama. I mean, I voted for Hillary. I voted for Hillary. The first Republican I ever voted for was Christie. And and then I saw like my party just leave me. They went, I guess the communist takeover was happening. We had 2 terms of good old Obama. And I started waking up. Yeah, I started waking up like around his second term. I started seeing some of the stuff he started pushing. I was like, all right, well, this doesn't seem so right. And then boom, it's like Trump set the fuse. He broke the toys. It's like the veil has been lifted. And then here we are. The election's coming up. I don't know if it's going to come. I don't think they're going to let him. Like they were so close to getting what they wanted. It's, I mean, look at it. Look at what they're willing to do. They're willing to round up people years after the Jan 6 thing just to show a message. They are disbarring Trump's lawyers in California. I forgot the guy's name. They are attacking everybody in Trump's orbit. I mean, it's insane. I mean, I never seen like this is communism. I mean, if they are down, and I think they know like the public sentiment is definitely not going their way. They're losing Hispanics. They're losing blacks. I'm sure they're losing Asians, a lot of Jews. I mean, you ever see
Jews,
Michael
right.
Rappaport? He's on the Trump train. Bill Ackman. So they're losing a lot of people, but these are the people in positions of power, and I won't be surprised. They're so desperate they'll turn the fucking power off. Like, no election. Here we go. You know, like either. I mean, they were talking about seceding before the last election in 2020. There was a think tank. Who was it? Hillary Clinton ran. I forgot a few people. There was a think tank. They were like talking about the West Coast seceding and everything.
That's right.
They're that fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about it now too. I was like, we should probably secede too. Like, I mean, if shit happens, I'll be freaking in my truck going to the Midwest as quick as shit. Like, I'm not going to stay in Jersey and be thrown in a gulag because I know that's going to happen to me.
Find me in the Ozarks in Arkansas, you know?
Yeah, man. It's insane. They see us as the enemy.
Exactly. And it's eerie that there's this new Civil War movie coming out with California and Texas being the two like that are the rebels, and the rest of America is like the Union, you know, going in to get them Confederates and, you know, teach them a lesson sort of thing. Very
right
eerie.
there, I was like, that doesn't seem right. I don't even think I want to see like how like somehow they have an alliance.
Yeah, it's just complete fiction at that point, right?
Yeah, I was like,
but we'll see. Maybe if unfortunately things go wrong in 2025 or 2024 at the end, and there are some violence and unrest, it'll just embolden the right side, the Republicans again, with more voters, just like it did in 2020. You're correct. 100%. So many people, even the numbers show with voter registration that people joined the Republicans after the city's burned. I voted for the first time. For anybody. It was Donald Trump, Republican. So the first time I voted was a Republican because America burned. I watched it burn. And so much that New Jersey gets to claim that we didn't burn. We were the one state out of all 30 that didn't do it. That's how bad like America was.
But that's a testament to us Jersey folks. Cause like when I was growing up, I mean, I grew up, you know, I'm a millennial. I grew up in the 90s, and my friends, I have friends of every freaking ethnicity, color, and none of this race shit was like this. We could make fun of each other. Like we could make fun of being Puerto Rican. I got a whole bunch of jokes, but none of them were, you know, for YouTube. But like we used to, you know, just bust each other's balls, and that was fine. And that's Jersey. Like Jersey, I think, you know, there's racism everywhere. You know, you're never going to get rid of it. But Jersey people are cool. Like that's why like Newark didn't burn. Like you saw people in Newark, black folks out there when people try to loot. They're like, you're not doing this shit here. You know, that same thing in like, where is it? Atlantic City. Like we're a different breed up here in Jersey. We might be some, you know, locals and everything, but especially up here in Essex County, like Jesus Christ, like Maplewood, South Orange, you talk about California East. It's great.
Yeah. And like you said, New Jersey, I guess, and the way that the news articles wrote it was that New Jersey has the history, I believe 1967 of North Plainfield, when they went like door to door taking guns. There was riots. There's that new Netflix movie, The Saints of Newark. It shows the same thing, the riots during the race riots. That's what they were called.
It's in Jersey City as well. My grandmother, she was working in Jersey City at the time, and she remembered when the riots kicked up over there. But that's all, you know, like post.
That's to say we went through it. Let's say we went through it, though. That's probably why New Jersey didn't have them during the 2020 riots. That's what people said, and I like to think that narrative. I like that narrative. I'll go with it. And the last thing we'll end on, and thank you so much, Blue Collar Renaissance on Rumble. Be sure to subscribe and follow on X, Twitter, Blue Collar Ren. Thanks so much for the free speech conversation. We'll end on this, since we were talking about towards 2025. Do you have any advice at all for New Jersey Republicans and conservatives? What are they doing wrong? What could they do better? Anything in your opinion?
Well, in Jersey, you can't be it's too far right. I think we both can agree on that. This is, you know, I mean, think about the independent registration in the state. I think it's larger than both conservative and Democrat. And a lot of people like you and I can, you know, we're not, you know, we can find good in the both. I mean, we can't go too extreme. We can't be the banning abortion. We can't do that up here. You're gonna lose. You can't come over here and say open carry, because you're gonna lose I know a lot of people who like guns, and they do want, you know, some gun laws, like
9 million people. Right.
They don't want people carrying, they don't want open carry or anything. They don't want to be like the South. Even though I would personally like it. I lived down South for a while and I thought it was fucking awesome. At first, I was a little blown away seeing people walking around with their guns on their hips and shit. I was like, that's crazy. But
Tennessee, yeah.
I never seen any gun violence. I saw gun violence growing up in Union City. So it's like, it's like, it's like, was an armed society is a polite society. So yeah, we have to play the middle of the road here. It's the only way you're going to win. I mean, with Chitterelli last time, almost eking out a win over Murphy, it showed you. And now, a few years passed by, the country's a lot worse off than it was. I think they should just focus on the immigration problem, focus on the economy, lower in taxes, because the highest property taxes in the whole fucking country. Everybody's feeling it. So if you start hitting those middle class issues, stay middle of the road, we'll eke out some wins, we'll get some victories. But we can't just go too far right. That's the only thing. Like, even though I would like it, I wouldn't mind it like a quasi Christian monarchy or something like that. I wouldn't mind it. But we got to play middle of the road over here. We got a lot of people who sit on the fence and kind of like guns, but they like their abortions, and it's like, so yeah, we got to play the road.
That's where a bunch of people last year, 2023, our state election, said they went too far. I understand what they mean by that with relation to the voter, just like you did, because what they are saying they went too far with was with the parental rights, with the LGBT, and like we were talking about this whole video, is there are very victim-hooded mentality people and mentally ill, with the LGBT, and they thought they were going too far. I agree, and I guess that is in New Jersey until it changes, especially like with the guns, like you said. Jack Ciattarelli, he did come close. I know Bill Spadilla and Phil Rizzo have plenty to say about all of that, but the numbers are technically there. And yeah, we'll see for 2025. We'll see for the end of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the NJ First Podcast. Again, please go follow Blue Collar Renaissance over on Rumble. Uploads great content for New Jersey, and follow him on X, Blue Collar Ren. Anything else you want to say?
No, Mr. McDonald, it was great talking to you, and keep up the good work. And I look forward to getting up with you at one of these rallies. We're gonna have to make that happen pretty soon. It's 'tis the season,
Right. All right. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.